All right, so you might not have understood what they wanted you to do to explain the relationship, but it's basically just say like what's happening with the time compared to what's happening with the distance. And so since Jayla is moving away from Coldstone, as the time increases, her distance increases. Rishi, the distance always stays the same, and then Justin and Sarah, they're walking towards Coldstone, so as time increases, their distance decreases. All right, now number 2, we want to write an equation of that line for Justin. So what's Justin's slope? Good. So we put that in front of x, and what's Justin's y-intercept? 5. All right, so to figure out the slope from a graph, you go down. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. But you go down 5, right 4. That's the slope. All right, and then we'll do, let me erase that. We'll do the same thing for Sarah. All right, so Sarah goes down 10, right 8. What does that reduce to? Negative 5/4. And her y-intercept is 10. So what kind of lines are those? The purple one and the blue one that's on my screen from geometry or even algebra 1. Do you remember what those lines are called that run alongside each other? Not perpendicular. Parallel. So these are parallel lines. So the next question asks, what do you notice is the same or different about them? So what's the same? The slope. Do you think that's a coincidence? Or do you think that always happens with parallel lines? It always happens with parallel lines. Good. So they have the same slope. They have different y-intercepts. And what do you think that means for the context of the problem with how fast they're going or same speed? Good. So it's Sarah and Justin. All right. And so then we want to write an equation for Jayla. So what's Jayla's slope? Okay, so she goes up 4, right 5. So it's a positive slope. So it's going to be y equals 4/5 x. And then her y-intercept is 0. Do you think you need to write the 0? You don't have to. Okay, is it accurate to say that Jayla biked the same speed but in the opposite direction as Justin and Sarah? Do you think this is the same speed? She is going faster. Actually, she is going slower than them. So no. All right, and then Rishi is stuck in traffic. And so how can you tell from this graph? Yeah. So Rishi's distance, or you can say she doesn't move, that's fine. Doesn't change. Okay, and then what would her equation be? If the equation gives the distance away, it's just y equals 2. All right, and then this last one, it doesn't really go that much with the lesson, but that's okay. Jayla and Justin are the same distance from Coldstone at some time. So this time right here where they cross, they're the same distance. What would you guess that distance? What would you guess that time is if you were just guessing? As far as minutes. 2.2 minutes. Anybody have another guess? Okay, that's fine. Let's figure out exactly what it is. So what you would do is take Justin's formula or Justin's equation and set it equal to Jayla's, and then just solve for x. So I would add that 5/4 x. When you do, I'm going to go ahead and give it as a decimal in this case. And then when you divide by that decimal, you get 2.4 minutes. So you were super close, Gavin. So at 2.4 minutes, they run into each other. All right, so the main idea of this lesson is the parallel and perpendicular lines and horizontal and vertical lines. So we're going to fill that in on the other side. All right, so a horizontal line is a line with no rise. So you never go up. You never change vertically on a horizontal line. So if you're thinking about the slope as the rise over the run, if there's no rise, what do you think the slope's going to be? 0. Because you get 0/7 or 0/2 or something like that. So the slope, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to draw horizontal line for you. So the horizontal line I drew was up 4 units. So what do you think that equation would be? If it was up 4 units. It needs to be an equation. Just y equals 4. So a horizontal line is going to be y equals a number, wherever the horizontal line sits. Okay, so let's write some information about vertical lines. So a vertical line is a line with no run. Not rum, sorry. So what if you're thinking about rise over run and there is no run? What do you think that's going to make the slope? Very good. So anytime you try to divide by 0, that's not happening. So that's going to be an undefined slope. All right, so I'm going to move 3 ticks over, and I'm going to draw a vertical line. What do you guys think the equation is of that green one? X equals 3. Good. So vertical line is x equals a number, a horizontal line is y equals a number. I didn't ask a question. All right. Okay, the last 2 things we're going to talk about are parallel and perpendicular lines. All right, so try your best to draw two parallel lines. They just go alongside each other. So what do you guys know about parallel lines from geometry? They never touch. So we're going to say they never intersect. That's exactly what I was about to ask. So what do you know about the slopes? You know they have the same slope. Very good. What about their y-intercepts? Can they have the same slope and the same y-intercept and be the parallel?
No, because they have the same y-intercept, then
They'll be the exact same line. Good. So they have to have the same slope, but they have to have different y-intercepts. Oops. All right. Okay, and then perpendicular lines. Do perpendicular lines intersect?
Yes.
They intersect in a special way.
90 degrees.
Very good. So they cross at 90 degrees. So I'm going to try to draw that. All right, I'm going to scroll back up to the other side. Jayla and Sarah, they were perpendicular lines. What do you notice about their slopes? Not exactly. They're opposite reciprocal. So there's a different sign. One's positive, one's negative. And then reciprocal means it's flipped over. Very good. All right, so I'm going to show you just what opposite reciprocals means. I feel like you know this, but just want to make sure. All right, so if one line has a slope that's A over B, the perpendicular slope is going to have opposite sign, so negative, and then you're going to flip it over. It's going to be B over A. All right, now these examples, with the exception of number 2, really aren't going to take too long to do. There's not a lot of math to do. It's just kind of like plugging in numbers. So on number 1, we have a line, and its slope is 1/2, and it passes through the point 0, -3. So for the line, the original line, the slope is 1/2. Is that point 0, -3? Is it a special point? It is the y-intercept. So anytime the x is 0, that you're given the y-intercept. Okay, so we're going to write an equation of a whole new line that's parallel to this one. So what do we want our slope to be? 1/2. All right, and then for the y-intercepts, -3. It'd be the same line. It just needs to be anything except -3. So do you guys have 7? Oh, you're absolutely right. It could be a y-intercept of 0. That's fine. There's an infinite number of answers here. So we could have left it just y = 1/2 x, and that would have been fine. Gotcha. All right, and then for B, we want to write an equation of a line perpendicular with the same y-intercept. You guys try to do this one on your own. So the same y-intercept is the original line, and but perpendicular to it.
It's got the same y-intercept.
Same y-intercept is the original one. All right, so what slope do we want? Good. -2/1, or just -2. And then same y-intercept as the original. Okay, now number 2 is going to take some time. It's a really algebraic question. All right, so we have line M, and it passes through those 2 points where one of them we don't know what it is. It's got a variable. All right, and so M is perpendicular to this other line, and we're going to figure out what K is. So what is the slope of this line here? Yeah, so that's the point slope form. So that slope is -3/2. It's just the number that's here. So what's going to be the slope of line M? Good. We change the sign and flip it over. Okay, so we're going to, you guys remember the slope formula from yesterday?
Yours are the one
So M is 2/3. Whoops. And so we're going to take these coordinates and subtract the y's on the top and subtract the x's on the bottom. And then we're just going to solve it for K. Just keep writing the wrong thing. All right, now there's multiple ways to solve this equation. What would y'all do? That's the shortest way. That's what I like to do. So I want you guys to think that whenever there's something in the denominator in the equation and you don't want it there, just multiply by it. So when I multiply by that 6, that's a 4, and then the 6 is gone. And then to solve it, you just add 4. Now that is not the only way to do that. You could have cross multiplied and you would get the same answer. It would just take way more steps. That's just the fastest way. Okay, a couple more. These are going to be super fast. So number 3 is a vertical line through this point. So if we are writing the equation of a vertical line, is it going to be x equals a number, or is it going to be y equals a number? X. And what does x equal here? Yep. All right, you're going to have to let someone else answer questions. I appreciate you so much, though. All right, let's look at number 4. What do y'all think? This time we want a horizontal line. Yeah. Okay, and this last one could also be called ACT practice. I don't know if any of you are going to take the SAT, but it doesn't matter. It's the same practice for standardized tests. We have this line here, and we want to figure out which one of these other lines is going to be perpendicular to it. Now, this form right here, this is called standard form. Hold on. Where x and y are on the same side. Do you guys know a shortcut to find the slope when it's in that form? You might have never learned this. No. The shortcut is you do the opposite of A over B, and that's going to be your slope. So A is the coefficient of X, B is the coefficient of Y, if they're on the same side of the equation. All right, so if I'm using that shortcut, what is the slope of this original line? The opposite of A over B, 2/3. What needs to be the slope to the answer to this question? Say it again. Yes. the opposite reciprocal. So you guys do that do the opposite of A over B. Figure out which one of those has a slope of negative 3/2. It should take you like 1 second. What do y'all think? Oh, sorry, maybe not. 1 second. It's going to be A. So as soon as I do this first one, the opposite of 3 over 2, that's the slope we're looking for. So that's the answer. All right.